Sauce! Hey everyone, welcome to Go Live, the Saturday evening talk show where we get saucy with saucy guests with even more saucy news as the sauce just envelopes us and we start drowning in the sauce. I hope you can hear us. The intro segment didn't have any sound. Yes, I think it works. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Smash that like button, share it out. We're going to get saucy. This is a sick show today, man. We've got amazing guests. I have been waiting for a very long time for this one to happen. So before I go into introducing our sexy guest, let me introduce Asa, co-owner, co-founder, co-falafelating man. How you doing, sir?
I was good, but then I let everybody down with the audio for that trailer that I put a lot of effort into. But I don't know. I'll find a way to salvage that and see if I can play it at the end. Apart from that, great. Looking forward to the show.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And Isla, sorry about that, but you can blame Asa for all that. But thank you so much for your effort. It really makes a big difference. So, guys, I don't know if you managed to catch our video this afternoon. There's all the news that's happening. There's a lot to get into. And what a perfect set of guests to discuss these topics. Joining us for the first time, a man who is he's breaking his debut. This is his debut face reveal on a live show. He's done a face reveal on his own channel, but it's an absolute pleasure, an absolute honor to be joined by Jay Fonzarelli. How you doing, man?
I appreciate it, man. It's good to be here. Yeah, it's the first time I've been live on camera anyway. So yeah, kind of nerve-wracking, but hey, I'm used to you guys. You guys are all friends here, so should be good.
It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick because you're here. Man, it's gonna be wicked. You have nothing to be nervous about. You're gonna get into the source. Last but certainly not least is a content creator I have been watching for the best part of a decade. We were supposed to have this gentleman, but he had internet issues last time when he was on with Colt and John. But I am so glad that everything seems to be working, and it is actually an immense honor and a pleasure to be joined by Solid Rev. How you doing, man?
I appreciate that. I'm good. Let's get the show rolling. It is kind of nerve-wracking, Jay. I make videos. I'm comfortable. There's no problem. I do 10, 15-minute videos. But I got to tell you, man, I did a podcast on the webcam for like 2 hours. Dude, you're on camera for this long? It gets kind of... It's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I don't like being on camera for this long.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I'm the same.
Yeah,
hopefully
crazy.
we'll make it feel like you're just chilling with the boys in like just it's not going to be a formal affair. But,
Who's the dude with the tats behind you? Who's this guy?
that's the Dodge.
That's Darge.
He is a legend and part of the GameOnDaily family, bro. He will always be.
Oh, okay. I got you. You got all kinds of staff up in here. Okay.
He's the bodyguard.
He is the bodyguard, and we've got Colt Eastwood saying you're looking good, Rev. Thanks to Colt for joining us.
Where is Colt? I thought he was supposed to be here.
He's laying in a beach right now. He's much deserved holiday for that guy. He's loving it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Thank you for joining us, Colt. It's sick that you joined us on your holiday. We're gonna get sick and straight into it. Shit's happening, man. It's crazy. You saw my source video earlier today. Maybe you saw it, but if you didn't, Xbox and Microsoft are making some big moves this generation, which is a far cry from the last generation that graced us. So out of nowhere on a Friday, which is a holiday for us because it's Good Friday, Microsoft announced that MLB The Show, which was a former PlayStation exclusive, is coming to Game Pass day and date. That's a Sony game. That's a Sony game. What'd you say? Oh, exclusive. Oh my god, I forgot about the sound. The sound.
Hey, that's crazy, right? It's insane that this is happening.
What's your take on that, man? Because that's insane. That's surely insane.
What I'd like to stress more is the fact that not only is this a Sony-made game coming to Game Pass day one, which is basically like a slap in the face to Sony. It really is. I mean, I know it's not being published by Sony. A lot of people like to make that point, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that even Sony made it. The fact is that more multiplats are coming to Game Pass, more big multiplats, and this is going to become a trend. It's going to keep happening. And as it does, more and more people are going to be looking at the price point here. They're going to be looking at multiplats coming to Game Pass and going, do I see the value in that opposed to the value, where's the value in Sony charging me $70 for a game like this when I could get it in Game Pass with 100 or 200 other games? It's crazy. And it's going to keep happening. And that's my biggest take on it, is that it's the whole multi-platform game factor. All these games go into Game Pass, and are you willing to spend $60, $70 on each one of these games, or are you going to want to just buy Game Pass and call it a day? That's the way I see it.
But you're absolutely right, though. It's just going to be a critical turning point where the news spreads, where Game Pass builds that momentum, and multi-class is where it's really at. Actually, we'll talk about
that's where the casuals are. They buy these consoles, most of them anyway, to play these multiplats with their friends. That's the bottom line.
100%. That is crazy. But baseball is massive in the States, and I think it's only the States, or maybe in Japan. I don't know. But the rest of us, we watch cricket.
Japan as well, yeah.
Baseball is huge, though. But even here in the UK, we felt the reverberations of this move. Solid. I want to ask you, man. Like, you're a baseball fan. Is this a big thing to you that is coming?
No, I don't care in the least. But I can recognize it's a big move. If I were a Sony sports fan, I'd feel some type of way about it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. If I was a fan of MLB The Show, and I find out the competition is getting their game for what, $15 a month? They're getting my game for $15 a month, and not only do I got to pay full price, I got to pay an extra $10. Yeah, I'd be irritated.
That's the good point about the $10. So like PlayStation doesn't have smart delivery, so that's catching up to the PlayStation fans who are kind of mocking smart delivery anyway, and that policy decision. So Solid says that's my game going out to another platform, and even you were like, and you're pretty like calm and chilled about it, but you're like, oh, okay, well, that's a big deal. Is that why you think there's a big deal? What Solid said is that's a PlayStation Sony-made game coming out on Xbox.
It is because, like we said for weeks and weeks and weeks now, the competition for Sony, I don't doubt that they're going to sell enough consoles. They're going to sell consoles just fine. The competition, I've always said, was them potentially losing the kind of third-party market share and the being the place that people play, because a lot of people are going to have both consoles. And the battle that they've got ahead of them is to determine, I thought, the battle will be to determine which third-party games, like where people are going to play their third-party games. I don't think anybody predicted that they were going to struggle to get their first-party games played on PlayStation.
Man, that's insane. That's crazy, man. It's a Sony game, and to me, it's this weird thing of, I boot it up, I see a Sony PlayStation Studios logo on my Xbox. Then I know that I'm paying a fraction of the price to access this game, whereas guys on PlayStation, and people are pissed. People are pissed. There are petitions out there calling for Jim Ryan to get sacked. There are a lot of people on forums and Resetron everywhere. Everyone's kind of worried, what's PlayStation doing? And there are indications that Xbox is going to carry on doing that. So that is that's insane. Fonz, is it just hyperbole? Is there just console warring, or is it quite significant?
No. It's massive. Like MLB doesn't really matter to me. Like I don't care about this game at all, this franchise. But I know, like Rev said, it's a big move, and it's going to continue going forward. This is just like the first step. And for people to be calling like Ryan's head out, I get it. Jim has not been the guy for PlayStation. He's kind of done a lot of 180 on things and really upset a lot of the fan base. But for calling his head and stuff, I don't think he had much to say about this, especially it being published by MLB. Microsoft just went in that back door and said, hey, we're going to take this for Game Pass, and you guys are just going to have to deal with it. And they smart move, calculated, smart. Xbox right now is firing on all cylinders, no doubt. They're just killing it lately. And Game Pass, I've been saying it for a long time. Game Pass is great, but I didn't really see the potential, say, even a year ago. I didn't really see them going for all this, all these multi-plats. I thought maybe they'll get some smaller ones in there, but I really think after Outriders, now you got MLB in there, and I could see them going after much bigger games later. And it's going to happen. Inevitably, it's going to happen. And people are going to see the value of Game Pass. And it's just crazy to me. It's nuts.
Is Game Pass like the new kind of third-party exclusive almost, like it used to? Microsoft tried it.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a service that everybody's going to be recognizing, the value. And I'm just going to keep stressing that when we talk about Game Pass. It is an extreme value. I've saved so much money between my son and I've saved a lot of money on games with Game Pass. And I laugh when people say, by the time a game comes in Game Pass, I'll have paid too much or whatever for it. And I'm like, dude, it's paid for itself 4 times over. It always pays for itself every year. So it's nuts.
It's crazy value for money. Oh, Solid, if you were Sony, what would you do to try and combat this, man? Sony hasn't got the money. Microsoft has. You think it's okay? Do you think Sony can rely on their old model of let's rely on these big AAA third-party, first-party single-player games? Or
you mean exclusives?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Sony's pretty arrogant. I think they've been arrogant for a long time because Xbox hasn't really been competitive with them up until like the past year since the Series X. It's like,
it's like
It's like connection troubles again.
No. No.
Oh, dude, it's Solid. Sony infiltrated Solid Rev's bloody internet connection and
they don't want him to talk.
Spoke the truth.
Now we're fine.
Oh,
Is
sorry,
he back?
You're back. You had internet problems there, but you're back. You froze for a sec.
Really? Dude, I'm trying to tell you, man. I told you the internet's trash here.
It's
I don't
all
know
good.
what they did to it. Can you hear me?
You can hear you now. We can see you now. It's getting a little bit buffery, but we can hear you. Yeah. You were saying.
Okay. What?
You were cut off at the point where you were saying Sony were getting arrogant, and we want to know why.
Oh man, geez, I hope I wasn't saying all that on the house. I probably did. I just said Xbox, I don't really feel has been competitive since they launched the Series X and the Series S. That's when Microsoft finally came over that hill. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we're still here. And I feel like Sony doesn't have an answer because Sony really hasn't needed an answer from Microsoft. But now it's like all these moves Phil Spencer's incorporated years prior, they're finally starting to, we're starting to see the fruits of it. And I don't know. I don't think Sony was expecting it, honestly.
Exactly right. That's exactly what I think. It's like literally, Xbox spent the last generation rectifying things. And because they made such a massive balls up of last generation, you would be forgiven to being a little bit more relaxed about the situation. And then all of a sudden, it goes to show how things can very quickly change in a split second. We've seen this time and time again. As soon as a new generation starts, it's a fresh, clean slate. I think even Sean Layden may have suggested the same thing, although he works for PlayStation. He said it's always a fresh slate when you start a new generation. And I think Solid is on the ball there. Do you agree, Fonz, that that PlayStation caught unawares right here?
I would say so. I think everybody was pretty caught unaware, especially I think when it started to really hit was when Outriders was announced for Game Pass day one. Because that was the first time we've seen a AAA multi-plat actually hit day and date. And after that, it opened some eyes and you started to see some rumblings within the community. And now you're seeing even more rumblings. You're seeing people crying about this situation with the MLB game. And, again, it's going to be a situation where people are going to be going to, casuals are going to be looking at the price point, the price differences between Game Pass and $70 games. And that's going to be the issue. going forward. And
100%.
it's gonna be crazy when you start to see, those top games that casuals buy consoles for, like the Maddens, the CODs, because you could naysay all you want and say COD will never go there, Madden will never go there. Microsoft has the big bucks, and I don't put it past them to do things like that. So
that's the real battleground, and it's something actually Acer has been saying the same thing for a very long time. That the main battleground is the third-party multi-platform, games, and if Microsoft can start swiping those on Game Pass, it's problems for PlayStation. Is that hyperbole, Acer, or do you agree with me?
I wasn't even listening to you. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yes. No, you're talking about this battle that they've got going on. So MLB The Show in particular, this is a tangent because I wasn't listening to you, but MLB The Show in particular, over the past 5 years or so, whenever people were talking about the exclusives that Sony have got, people always say, right, in Britain, we don't particularly care about it. Most of us don't particularly care about it. But the conversation always goes, oh yeah, we might not care about it, but it's critically acclaimed and it's one of their highest selling exclusives every year. This is really not related to what you asked, is it? It doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is, I don't care about it. I still don't care about it. It is a big deal. Sony, I mean, the timing as well. They've now got this like 4-day holiday of not being able to respond. Sony don't typically respond to things anyway. They're quite distant from social media. They might not care about this at all. They might have already known about it. Who knows? They're not. They don't do knee-jerk reactions anyway. So who knows what target they've got in mind? But it is from outside, from social media, from our perspective, from everywhere else. It's an embarrassing situation for them. But I don't like baseball.
I do want to say, somebody brought it up in the chat. Yeah, Madden is definitely in Game Pass right now through EA Play. And again, I want to remind people, there is a strong rumor out there about Ubisoft possibly coming to Game Pass. If that happens, I don't know what to tell you. That's just insane.
If that happens, man, the Source video, I feel sorry for my kidneys because, oh my God, I think I might actually explode if that.
So, and there's a lot of inside rumblings. People are really talking about that being true. So, could come.
That is, if that happens, damn, that's insane. Oh shit. Okay, well, before I go to that, I just want to read the super chats. CYV Studio, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Goes, hey, go, let's go. Game on Daily, Game Pass rocks. Rocker Corey says, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. He says, $90 to get both the PS4, PS5 versions. Hashtag for the players. That for the players moniker, Fonz, is not aged well, is it?
I feel like Jim, Asa brought up a point and said that, they don't really do knee-jerk reactions. They don't. However, I do think they do need to respond soon. Something needs to be done, because right now the momentum shift is it's swinging that way. It's swinging to Xbox's side, and this is why it's so good for competition's sake, and this is why it's great for the gamers, is because we now have healthy competition coming from Microsoft. They're actually swinging, and it's nice to see. And I know that Sony is going to do something to come back and strike back, and it's going to be good for us. It's got to be. If they don't, then, man, where do we go from here? What happens?
They have to, Fonz, man. Sony needs PlayStation. Sony needs PlayStation. Microsoft doesn't need Xbox. They need that.
There's a fair few people in chat and here saying this for the players thing for PlayStation. You've got to remember, for the players was tied to the PlayStation 4. The name is like for the players. 5 the players doesn't even make any sense. So now they can just do whatever the hell they want. Right? Charge for everything.
Yeah, that's true. But still, I say it only lasted a generation, so I guess it carries forward, and they've committed to that, and now they're not really 5 or 4 the players at all. The big point, and one of the points I think a lot of people make, is this point about communication. Solid, I want to ask you, man, because Microsoft are always communicating, man. They've appeared on the RDX podcast where Fonz is on there. You've had Major Nelson, you've had Aaron Greenberg.
We're trying to get the Solid Rev over, but he never seems to work out on Tuesday. So he's always working.
Yeah, But I'm grateful to have the opportunity to get Solid on here. But Solid, do you think this point about communication? Do you think? I think it's a big deal. I think the fact that they communicate with fans is a massive thing on social media or on interviews or whatever. Sony doesn't say jack shit, and I just think that's a bit weird.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. I saw a video of Colts, and he's interviewing this guy with like a giant beard. I don't know the dude's name.
Jason Ronald.
He's behind the FPS boost, you know, and I was watching that and I thought to myself, I was like, that's pretty freaking crazy, man. The dude behind the FPS boost for Microsoft for the Xbox is doing an interview on Colt's channel. So not only does that show how far Colt has gone himself, it shows how willing the Xbox heads are to communicate with the people. And that is good. And Sony, I feel Sony's fan base just is a lot more toxic. I feel like your Xbox fan base, like Colt, Dealer, you got Jay over here. These are super positive dudes. They're always super positive with Xbox and everything like that. For Sony, for the Sony fan base, there's a lot more of them that like to kick sand. Xbox is trash. Xbox has no games. I don't see the majority of the Xbox community doing that, which although I was seeing a bunch of that yesterday with this MLB announcement, now that the shoe's on the other foot. But for the most part, Sony guys have really been kicking the shit out of the Xbox dudes. I can curse, right? You know what I mean? For so long, and now that Xbox is coming up, and like I said, I feel like that's why Sony's so arrogant, because they haven't had to do anything. What do we got to do anything? We got exclusives. Microsoft doesn't have exclusives, and their fanboys will damage control this all day. So stuff like MLB, the defense is going to be, oh, well, we have high quality exclusives. What do you have? Because like it or not, Microsoft's exclusive game is still weak. And I still need to see progress with that.
That's the last bastion of that the Sony fanboys are holding their hat on. It's this, and I'm still seeing it to this day. Xbox has no game. They're alluding to the first-party studios, which we haven't seen them release anything yet. Even though we know these titles are in the works, there's some big titles in there.
I just have to interrupt there, because when you say it's the last bastion, that is a particular type of fan that likes to argue. So it's maybe the last bastion in their argument with Xbox fans, but for a typical person that likes playing games, Sony is still going to have great games. They've still got Insomniac, they've still got Naughty Dog, they've still got the studios that satisfied their player base last generation, plus Insomniac. Okay, so if you're a PlayStation fan, you don't need to be throwing stuff at Xbox. You can look over the fence and go, oh hey, they've got good games as well, maybe I want both. But as a PlayStation player, I mean, you can even play MLB The Show if you want. You've not really lost anything. It's still a good console and a good time to be had. You've lost like 70 to 90 quid or whatever. I don't know what it costs, but that's the same. That was last generation. They lost almost that much money. Like PlayStation's still doing fine. It's still got exclusives. It's still got games. And Sony, like I said, they do not react to things quickly or evidently in the way that fans want them to, but fans aren't necessarily right on that. Fans are very demanding for things to happen now, and business doesn't need to move as quickly.
What you have to understand too is, Sony has amazing games. They have the bangers, as people like to say, and they do. I personally love Sony's exclusive games. I love them more than Xbox games. I have no shame in saying that. However, nobody, or I should say, most gamers, casuals anyway, they're not buying Sony consoles for their exclusives. The numbers prove that. They're buying them to play multiplats and to play with their friends. That's why I say that Game Pass is really dangerous when it comes to this, competition situation. And it's dangerous for Sony. And that's why Sony's got to do something to combat this. Them going for, basically what they did this generation so far is they've upped the price $10 on their games. And that's not a good way to combat a great value on the other side.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. They'll have to rethink that. I don't know if they would commit to that knowing now how things are working. You're right.
Yeah, that's strange.
They might, we're core audiences are one thing, but that kind of sentiment spills over to the masses. It comes from the core gamers and then it spills out, I think.
Yeah, it does, but you've got to, as well. So again, the fan expectation is that Sony have to go toe to toe with Xbox to be worth anything. And you look at Nintendo, and it's not necessarily the case. There are other. I mean, if I was Sony, I wouldn't necessarily think going toe to toe with Microsoft is my best strategy here. They've got other routes they can explore to still maintain profitability and be a good gaming company. I'm not saying that Fonz or Solid are at all wrong. Like, this is an issue for Sony that they need to be aware of. They are going to lose a lot of multi-plat revenue to Game Pass, to their direct competitor in Microsoft. And in PlayStation world, so Microsoft often talk about how their competitor isn't necessarily Sony. Their competitor might be Amazon and Google and this whole big space that they want to expand to. But for Sony, their competitor is very much Microsoft. So I'm not suggesting that they should ignore what they're doing and not respond. Just that they don't need to do anything over this weekend. Like,
yeah, and I agree with you, Asa, when it comes to Nintendo. But however, Nintendo is a whole different ball game, man. They play by their own rules, and it works for them. And what really makes it different for them too is the fact that they've got a portable system in the Switch, and that is just, I mean, there's lots of countries out there who prefer portable consoles over the traditional console, and it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell to these people. I would still like Nintendo to make a traditional console to this day, and actually compete where they're getting all the third parties and stuff. That would be interesting, but they won't. They don't need to. Again, but Sony and Microsoft do indeed, compete. Those two are different. I think Sony has to answer back. However, I'm not saying that this decimates Sony and Sony's going to go away. That's not going to happen, but they need to answer back.
Yeah,
definitely.
They need to do something.
But as an example, so Nintendo, obviously, they lean into their portability and they lean into their family catalog and they lean into Mario a lot. Sony obviously have IPs that they can lean into, but they've also got, I'm not suggesting that it's suddenly going to compensate for everything they're losing, but they've got VR and they've got a reasonable audience that Gaz is becoming acquainted with that like to hold a disc in their hands.
Yeah. Well,
so there are people out there that they can appease besides the Game Pass audience, but
yeah, but I will tell you this. They can be #forever physical all they want. But at the end of the day, you give them a Game Pass-like service with their games day and date, they're going to jump on it. I'm telling you right now, most of these dudes are they're spitting this stuff because they're seeing Microsoft do it and they don't want any part of it. But if their company did it, they'll be all for it. They can save some money. Why not? I mean, I was a forever physical guy back in the day. 4 years ago, I didn't want nothing to do with digital gaming. Now I'm pretty much all digital gaming. Why? It saves me money. I don't have to buy 2-3 copies for my kids and everything. And Game Pass is great. I save money. That's what I think about as my wallet. So
yeah, absolutely. And then the convenience factor and everything. So yeah, well, Ace is alluding to the fact that I called out forever physical, and it seems like a pretty weird. There might be a good movement in there, but it's all. I couldn't find it. I couldn't.
I wouldn't advocate against physical media. I'm not saying I want to get rid of physical media. There's no way. I like the option to be there. I love the option, but for me personally, digital gaming has saved me a lot more money, and it's just what it is.
Yeah, and let me clarify. I don't want to cancel physical games, no matter how desperately you say that. Oh, I don't hate anime. I don't know where you got that. Just because I called out people with duplicate accounts with avatars that had anime on there doesn't mean I hate anime. I watch anime, but yeah, your anime is fine. Your physical games, I'm not asking for it to be cancelled, but just to annoy you, #forever digital. It even sounds better. There you go. Let me read
Forever Game Pass. Yeah.
Yeah, Forever Game Pass. There you go. You'll love that. So thank you so much, Games Lord, for the HRK10. He says Sony is charging up to €80 for some games in the EU. That's a lot more than $90. Yeah, Mads Gaming has told me the same thing. It doesn't.
Oh, let me bring up this point too. If you want to keep your physical games, I get it. It's awesome, but wouldn't it have been good if PlayStation had some sort of Game Pass or digital gaming that they could have kept all these PS3 games around and everything, because they're getting rid of these stores now, and it's like, okay, now what? I mean,
I don't get.
it's crazy.
I think a lot of that is mixed into the prevalence and the strength of Game Pass. By the way, shout out to 200 people watching us. Smash that like button if you're enjoying. We're getting into some sauce right now, but yeah, I think it comes from a position of insecurity with what's happening with Game Pass. Game Pass is leading the charge there. So yeah, Jigga J with the $2 super chat says, "Fonz, your setup looks dope." I agree, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that looks mad. It does look mad. The Dodge Knight, who's sitting behind me, thank you for the £5 super chat. This is great panel. Some sexy men assembled. A shame for the fat guy in the background. He's alluding to himself. But if you've seen my videos, I've gained a lot of weight over COVID and lockdown, so you can't say anything, Dodge. Zatso, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. It's the idea that people don't buy. This is addressed to you, Fonz. He disagrees with you. He says the idea that people don't buy Sony for the exclusives is insane. Just look at Spider-Man sales.
What about Spider-Man sales? Did they sell 140 million copies?
Yeah, no, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this: I don't believe, as of right now, I don't believe Sony needs a Game Pass because of their exclusive games. As long as their exclusive games continue to rank as high as they do, and Microsoft's exclusives continue to be weak, that can continue to be Sony's backbone, whereas Game Pass can be Microsoft's. And I got to be honest, up until Outriders, Game Pass for me has been pretty much useless. The only money I've saved is because I don't buy the games that I already own on other platforms, because I got rid of my Xbox for over a year. Because I didn't need it. I had my PC.
Okay.
So when I got the Series X, there were a bunch of games that I would have bought again that were cheap, but I would have bought again that I owned on PlayStation 4 Pro. So it did save me money in that aspect. But as far as new games I don't own, Outriders is the first game where I've saved money. That's it. Out of all the Game Pass games, that's the first game that I haven't purchased. I buy my games. I prefer to buy my games. And Jay, I know that sounds kind of hard to believe. It's like, I'd rather have it on Game Pass. No. I have no problem buying games. I've always bought my games. If I'm interested in it, I'm buying it. And I like owning my games. I like owning them digitally. So as long as Sony continues to maintain their exclusive game, I don't feel like they do need a Game Pass.
And with that,
no. And I think I think that what I was talking about earlier, I'm not necessarily talking about their exclusives, the fact that they need a Game Pass or anything like that. I just think they need to do something to combat what Microsoft is doing right now with their multiplats. If they continue to get some big multiplats within Game Pass, and that multiplat is $70 on Sony's console, that's going to be a deciding factor for many people out there. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree with that. $70 is bullshit. Yeah. I don't like that one bit. I don't like that one bit. Yeah.
The thing with
and for myself, Rev, go ahead, Asa.
No, so I was just gonna say the thing with Sony's strategy. So I don't disagree with Solid there. Sony's backbone is strong. They're gonna sell consoles and they're gonna sell their first-party games, but that is only
100%.
That has only and will continue to be just a small part of the strategy. So that's not where they make their money. The consoles, they don't make their money. They're exclusives. They'll make some on the big ones. They spend all this money, but the reason that they're investing so much into their first-party games is to get people into their ecosystem, buying those multi-platform games that they don't have to work on directly.
Yep.
And that's the bit that's at risk. So at a point where Sony are reduced to making exclusive games for their hardware, and this is a little bit controversial, but at the point that is their sole business strategy, they might as well become a multi-platform publisher rather than a console manufacturer. Yeah. They're no longer getting people into their ecosystem and they're no longer getting the easy pie.
Yeah. That multi-platform bit's crucial, but I think Solid hits the nail on the head that we can see. Sometimes we kind of get blinded by the immediacy of all the development, but we still, Xbox still has to shake this bit of the burden of proof is on Xbox to show what these first-party studios can do, man, because Sony has, for considerable amount of time, slapped Xbox around when it comes to quality of first-party exclusives. And that's still the case we haven't even seen the Xbox. Let's remember though, the Xbox launched with no real exclusive titles, and
Yeah,
it's crazy.
you know what? It's funny you bring this up because I honestly have, and a lot of Xbox dudes are going to hate me for saying this, but I have more faith in ZeniMax Games bringing bangers than I do the first-party studios at Xbox right now.
I agree. I agree
Just
with
do.
that 100%. 100%.
Why?
Well, I mean,
What
look
have
at
they
what we've
done?
got so far.
Yeah.
I mean,
As a-
outside, we've gotten Halo, Gears, and Forza pretty much every year. And Forza, look, Forza is a great game. Halo is a great game. However, the campaigns in Halo for me have not been good ever since 343 took over. I have a whole thing against 343. I don't think they're the right fit personally, but that's just my, thoughts. But yeah, and then you got Gears. Gears is good, but it's not a game that really, it doesn't, in my opinion, as good as Gears is, and I like the games, it doesn't hold a candle to Sony's exclusives. Just doesn't.
Yeah, in
I
terms of
prefer, in terms of presentation, story, gameplay, I prefer Sony's games there. And I just think that when it comes to the ZeniMax deal, you've got the Dooms, you've got the Wolfensteins, you've got the Fallouts, the Elder Scrolls. You've got games that are just amazing to me. I love all those games. So I have more faith in those games than I do Xbox's first party.
What about when you consider Xbox's new first party, the Playgrounds, the Obsidians, the Ninja series?
The jury's out. With jury's out on Fable,
Yep.
Jury's out on this Perfect Dark. I'm not excited on Perfect Dark. When they announced it, I was like, really? I wanted a brand new IP, but we got Perfect Dark. Jury's out. We'll see when that comes out.
But like Solid, there's a lot of the ones that the jury's out on, though. Quite a few of them haven't actually made anything yet. Are you saying you don't have much confidence in like Obsidian with Avowed, and is that because Microsoft is involved, or just generally?
I don't. That's not fair for me to judge because I'm not into those types of games.
Yeah.
Like what's the one that came out that Obsidian made recently? It's on Game Pass.
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds. Yeah, that's not my type of
Outer
game,
Worlds.
man. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I
It was
couldn't get
fun.
into that. But it's like Jay said, Gears, I feel like Gears has the level of quality that the PlayStation exclusives have. It's just it's a tired franchise.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
Forza, just like Halo. It's like we know Halo's
agree.
going to be good, but for how long is Halo going to be good? No, it's when is Microsoft going to bring new IPs that have the same quality as the PlayStation exclusives? That's the question. And that's why I don't have any confidence, because they haven't done it in so damn long. When was the
Yeah.
last
I
time?
actually- Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean,
I like Outer Worlds personally. I liked it a lot. But I can understand, the cartoony graphics may have got you, Rev. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. Obsidian is great at making RPGs. Again, though, this is another studio that they just brought in. They're making Avowed. I'm excited for Avowed. But when I talk about first party Xbox, usually it's the Halo, Gears, and Forza. That's all we've been seeing. And those, I really just, I don't have much faith in those, I just.
Okay, well, me and you, when I first appeared on RDX, the first time we ever talked to each other was at a disagreement over Halo and 343. Although actually you'll find I actually agree with a lot of what you say with 343. What are your guesses, Fonz, with what 343 will do with Halo Infinite? Do you think Halo Infinite will be good? Do you have faith?
I have no faith in Halo Infinite. I want it to be good. I want it to be good. Let me make that straight up. I want it to be good. I really do. I want them to make a proper Halo game. I have a special place in my chest for Halo. I loved Combat Evolved. I love 2 and 3. I even love Reach and some of those games. But when it came down to 4 and 5, they weren't for me. Like the campaigns just weren't for me. But Halo Infinite, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm expecting the worst. Like I really am. You know, when I looked at the gameplay and stuff, it looked like, okay, that looks cool. But for me, you got it. When you have a campaign, you have to have a decent story, and you have to, you know, have, you know, a story mainly. And that's the thing about it. They've had this 10-year plan or something for Halo Infinite. They want it to be, you know, ever growing, and they've got this open world now. They're taking on a lot here. Usually a big world that's ever growing like this over 10 years, usually the story is crap. And that's what I'm worried about. Like, I don't know.
You think the delays are hurting it? Do you think it's that they're taking time to put a well-manufactured product in all the right places? Or do you think it's delayed because it's a disaster?
That is a good question, Rev. I think it's delayed because it's a bit of a disaster. I think it's delayed.
And if that is the case, then most likely it won't be good.
Well, the thing is, Rev, you have to understand, we've seen that there's been turmoil within 343 for years now, for the past couple of years, and they've went back to the drawing board on Halo Infinite. And I don't know what to expect now. Like, I'm expecting the worst. I'm hoping for the best. I want people to understand that. Like Xbox guys, I want the best from Halo Infinite, but I'm not expecting that personally. That's all.
I can't wait to talk to
I
you
hope
when
I could eat crow on that. I hope that it's
know
the
you
best
do.
Halo ever. But
I hope so too, because that's my most anticipated, and because that's the game I've always played with my son. So we're definitely looking forward to it. I thought the demo that everybody smashed, I thought it looked good. I thought it played good. It looked nice to me. I can't believe everybody was talking crap. You know what I mean? But I mean, whatever. We'll see. I hope it's good, man. I do.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. Where's Little Rev, man? We need him on camera as well. Is he hyped about Halo Infinite as well?
Yeah. He's here. Hey, little buddy, come here for a minute.
That boy ain't
he's
little.
super hyped.
That boy's getting big.
He's got
Come here for a sec.
He's bigger muscles than me. What's up, man? We're big fans.
I want to
of
hear
your
your thoughts on Halo Infinite. What, like, are you excited for it? What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's going to be good?
I think so.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, I like the
Fonz,
whole open world premise of a actual Halo game. That sounds awesome to me.
Do you think the delays are because the game's not ready? Like, as in,
Yes.
like, it's a disaster?
We've seen Cyberpunk. I think if it needs delays, it could take all the delays it needs. We've already seen what's happened to Cyberpunk.
Smart kid.
See, Little Rev is right, Fonz.
You know,
just
that
needs
next gen
time.
police and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate it.
No, we need to get him on a panel.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Rev, he's smart. He's smarter than most adults on panels on these podcasts sometimes. So, yeah.
Even the Halo might be quite a bit older than him as well.
Oh God, it could actually beat me up, which is quite embarrassing for me. But yeah, Lil Rev is right though. It just that's a very good point about want to avoid this. See, Fonz, they did a smart play. They had
they did.
They had the balls to delay Halo. If you can delay Halo, you can delay anything. And they had the balls to delay something that would have sold the console massively. And Solid is right, man. Like, everyone is hung up about the graphics. The gameplay, to me, did you have an issue with the gameplay, Fonz?
No. What I saw looked like Halo, except they added that grappling hook, which looks like it could add an element of fun in there as well. It did with Doom, so I'm sure that's probably where they picked that up. But it looks fun. The graphics didn't really bother me all that much, except for there's certain things about it, like there's the walls and stuff and the textures in certain places that didn't look very good. It looked almost like
Lego,
like Minecraft almost, with some of those walls. And I don't know. I don't know about that design choice, but when it comes to like the textures and what Dealer always says with the one guy's forehead, it was just missing. And it's like, they could improve on that. And as soon as they showed it, I said, yeah, they should delay this. But, you know, it is what it is when it comes out. I'm hoping that it's amazing. I hope they smash it.
I have a feeling Halo Infinite could be one of the best Halos ever. There you go. You can call me out on it. And I
it
know
could be.
Open
World games are some of my favorite games. Oh, I love open world games. So
yeah.
I love the fact that they're going that route. I just don't like the fact that they're saying that they're going to expand upon the story for 10 years, make this sort of just like a mini series of sorts of games.
Yeah,
I don't like that aspect.
I don't like that at all. I agree with you completely, because that kind of sounds like, you know, gas or games as a service. And is that going to be going to compromise on the story, which is a big thing? And I agree with you.
Exactly.
The story is a huge one. Let me catch up with the super chat. John Mitchell. Sorry.
No, go for it. No, I was just going to really quickly say it's surprising to still hear conversation at this point in 2021, to still hear conversation, people referring to Microsoft as Gears, Halo, and Forza, which not necessarily for good reasons, but they've not particularly been that for a while.
Yeah.
So you can say that they haven't replaced it with positivity, like they've just had very little for the last generation, but it has to change, and it'll be curious to see how long it takes for people to stop thinking of them in terms of those 3 games, because they do a lot more. But...
If Everwild, if Avowed, if Perfect Dark, all these games are good, then that narrative goes away. It's really down to those studios, and that's where the real battleground is. Just because they have all these acquisitions, a lot of goodwill, the quality isn't set in stone. That's what I'm worried about. That's where the Sony fanboys are, or they're hoping or whatever. They're right though. The quality PlayStation has been consistent.
It's still hard for me to believe that they've got Bethesda, that they've got all the ZeniMax, studios. And that to me, it still hasn't, like, it's sunk in, but when they start pumping out these games and I see that they're all in Game Pass day one, that's going to be really exciting to me. That's when I'm going to really be hit with, they're with Microsoft. That's what's crazy to me. And they've got things they're working on right now. Wolfenstein 3, the next Doom, all these games, when they start pumping out next year and the 2 or 3 years from now, all the games are going to be steamrolling onto Game Pass. It's going to be insane. Plus the multi-plats that they're going to acquire. It's insane, man.
Yeah, this is where we haven't even, this is what I said in my video, Microsoft firing shots before they've even fired a single bullet, really.
It's true.
Those main bullets are coming, man. Quickly reading up on the super chat. John Mitchell, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. He says, bring the sauce, guys. Microsoft is looking down on Amazon and Google, and the way they want the trend to, they want to continue that trend with Sony. Sony's not in their league. Lol, MLB 21. A little bit harsh, but I agree with the sauce. The sauce is real, bro. And I like the saucy super chats. Bernard Miller with $5 super chat says, if Sony is releasing 2 to 3 games per year with all 9 out of 10 ratings, but Microsoft is releasing 5 to 6 first parties with 8 out of 10 ratings, would Sony be in trouble? In quality over quantity.
5 to 6. Did he say 5 to 6 exclusives?
First party.
In 1 year? When does that happen? When does that ever happen?
Yeah, I know. That's
a lot.
I
think you'll start to see that with Xbox, though. With all these new studios, you will see 5 to 6 exclusives per year.
Yeah. Well, but then going back to Bernard's question, if there's 2 to 3 bangers on the Sonys get 9s and 10s, and Microsoft has more of the 8s and 10s, what's more important, do you think?
Well, of course, you got to go with the games, man.
The quality
9s and 10s on those games are huge. And to me, like I said, I'll always own a PlayStation for their exclusive games.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think, Solid? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with?
I think that's not really a question for me, because I'm Jay knows how I am. I'm very particular in my tastes in video games. So whereas you get games that get good scores, most of the time they're games I don't give 2 shits about. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the highest rated game on Metacritic, isn't like a Mario game?
Yeah,
I don't.
It's true.
So it depends on what types of games they are. And with Sony, they usually put out games that are my taste, the stuff that I like. Whereas what's that game that just came out, that their first exclusive, The Medium? I played that game 15 minutes and I turned it off. It scored good, didn't it? Did it get good scores?
It was decent, but I didn't like it either, Rev. I had to shut that off.
Dude, I was like, get this out of here.
But the real question is, are you going to pick up Ratchet and Clank?
No.
Yeah,
No, that is not my type of game at all.
Exactly. I know how Rev is. Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's a bust. And the PS5, honestly, their exclusive lineup is actually looking real lackluster to me.
Yeah.
Well, you got God of War Ragnarok coming next year. So
that's a year out though, man.
Yeah,
I can't get excited for nothing a year away. It's
what
too
about
far.
Horizon? Do you like Horizon?
Oh, Zero Dawn? No. I bought that game on PC. I struggled. I was like, you know what? It's going to get good. It's going to click. It's got awesome gameplay. It's got awesome graphics. Stories, mediocre.
Yeah.
I hear the story gets real good at the end.
It's not real good at the end.
Voice acting's poor. The voice acting's so poor. The combat, I don't like using bow and arrows against robot dinosaurs. It's just, I don't know, man. I put 20 hours into the PC version.
I like the combat. I like the combat a lot. Yeah, I like the combat. Yeah, I like the combat against the robot dinosaurs. It was fun because you had to use certain arrows that did certain things on certain dinos and stuff. But when you fought the people, it was trash. The people were horrible. The AI
just it all felt lackluster to me, with the exception of the gameplay and the graphics.
But the story, yeah, lackluster for sure.
It's great. I like
so
the
you
story,
beat it?
Carry on.
Yeah, I beat it. I beat it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And I'll get the second one too. I like the graphics and the combat, so I'll get it.
Yeah, I like the graphics, but I didn't finish it, and I agree with you, Solid. Just the combat didn't really feel. I didn't feel it. But I appreciate that it's an impressive game, and I'm just the outlier. It just doesn't jive with me. And you're right, Solid. I'm also with you there on the PlayStation exclusive and all the Gran Turismo. I really want to see what they do with that and God of War. And I'm keep bringing this up on the show. Say you're. Let's compare what Microsoft has. You've got Avowed, you've got Fable. Are you a fan of Fable? You probably don't like.
You talking to me?
Yeah, you're Solid.
Oh no, not Fable. No.
Perfect Dark.
No. You're like, what are you doing here? Do you even play video games?
No, I know where you're coming from, though. That's the thing, and I understand.
You know what's funny? I'm not a fan of either. I'm hoping that Fable has changed enough to where I can enjoy it. I did not like. Okay, there's two things I don't like about the Fable series. One, the art style, and two, the comedy, the British comedy stuff.
The art style.
It was just kind of weird. To me.
Art style is huge for me. It has to have a good art style.
Yeah, you
heard
like
people
more
say either, and I've heard people say either, but I've not heard anyone chain them together like Fonz just did. I quite enjoyed it.
what do you say?
Realistic type graphics. They don't have to be phenomenal graphics. They just got to be like realistic. Like I've been playing Doom 3 BFG the past couple nights. Those don't got the best graphics, but I love the game. I love the atmosphere. I love the graphics, the way the story's told, and the gameplay's just freaking phenomenal. I love Doom.
I love Doom.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hey, Doom, I love it.
Yeah, Doom is a sick one. So yeah, thank you so much, Bernard. That's a good question. CYV2, thank you again for the $5 super chat. Sony does need to start competing with Game Pass, and don't forget what happened to the blockbusters with Blockbuster with Netflix. The new model for the media is based on subscriptions. Is subscription the future? Hashtag forever digital. Yeah.
But I believe what Ace is saying, though. At the end of the day, Sony's bangers will always compete with whatever Microsoft has going. However, they do have stiff competition this time, and they are going to have to answer to that when it comes to the multiplats and stuff. They have to. I mean. You come out at the beginning of the year or the generation and you say, we're upping the price $10. And you got the other side saying, hey, we're putting all these games in Game Pass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane to me.
It's mad. I don't know. You can't argue, can't ignore that, man. It's like, if Microsoft did that, they would get raked through the coals. But I think Sony are going.
They would have been, yeah.
Yeah, they're getting scot-free, but they built up a generation of trust. So I guess they can.
Weird thing. One of the most perceived positive things that Sony has done is actually something that they've done that's not so good this generation. With the whole being able to, or for publishers to be able to charge for next gen updates. So I don't know if you've seen all the Wreckfest stuff that's been going on over the last week, and this is actually it's wild because Microsoft have a policy in place which is a really consumer friendly policy where they've gone around and they've told their publishers, don't charge for upgrades to next gen. That's a dick move. And then some of the more stubborn publishers have come away and said, well, then you can't have them, Microsoft, because Sony will let us charge, so we're going to sell them for 10 quid over there. If you want to get an upgrade on Xbox, you have to buy the game twice, like Tony Hawk's. You have to buy the game on the Xbox One, and if you want to upgrade it, you have to buy the whole game again. There's no upgrade path because Microsoft has said, don't be a dick. And it's the one thing that Sony actually looked good on, but actually what's happened here is Microsoft has done the right thing, and it's just backfired a little bit in certain circumstances. But then you've got Bugbear in particular. So this is the developer behind Wreckfest, and they've been caught in the crossfire a little bit because for Wreckfest they've done a reasonable amount of work for their upgrade that they're charging on the PlayStation 5, and they're kind of stuck in the middle on the Xbox. So the work that they've done is they've enhanced it beyond what's on the PC and on the other consoles. They've not bumped the resolution and the frame rate and said, please give us money. They've put some work in, and then on the Xbox side they can't sell that work. So there's an interesting little...
Yeah, but on the Xbox side, they did bump up the resolution and frame rate already for free. So that's been done, and it looks and plays well from what I hear. And I don't play the game, but those that do tell me that it looks and plays well. Sony didn't get that free bump at all. So now they're getting that along with whatever extras they're throwing in for $10. For me, I'll take the smart delivery system any day over $10.
Yeah.
I'll take what little I can get anyway. I don't want to pay the $10 after I've spent $60 on a game just for an enhancement. Like that's not cool to me. I understand why Microsoft set that in stone and told their devs, look, don't do it this way, or tried to anyway. I appreciate that.
For me, so I agree with you entirely. And in terms of the massive publishers like Activision, when they start like digging their heels in and saying, okay, you just got to buy the game again, that sucks. And that casts a negative light on Microsoft when it's not Microsoft's fault. But then you got a smaller developer like Bugbear, and they are just caught in the middle of it because I don't think what they're doing, and they've got a lot of heat on social media and things which they haven't handled particularly well during the week, from people saying like, we hate you, you're charging us for this, you shouldn't be, you should be giving it to everyone or nobody, and all the rest of it. And actually a small studio like that aren't doing anything particularly negative. Like, they've got a reasonable point in that they've put work into this and they need to get paid for it. And you can argue like, no, you do it anyway, you get paid for it because your game's on PlayStation Now, your game's on Game Pass, you're going to sell more copies of it for doing the enhancement, you're going to get paid for it indirectly anyway. But they don't deserve the amount of shade that's been thrown at them for charging a tenner for what they're doing. In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, quite complicated there. Again, Microsoft trying to do the right thing and getting burnt by that, which is sad. But what can you do? Scatterlights with a $10 super chat. It says, great sauce to complement my lunch. I think I have to scream sauce every time I read that out. So if you guys say sauce, I'm going to lose my vocal cords. Faisal, thanks so much for the £2 super chat. Because who is excited for Crossfire? Are you excited for Solid? Tell me you're excited for Crossfire.
Crossfire? What is that?
Yes. I knew you were going to say that. It's a more obscure game, actually.
Crossfire X, I believe. The shooter.
The shooter. I haven't seen much on it. I don't know. It could be good.
Yeah, me neither.
Remedy is making it, so it might be good. I don't know.
Remedy's making it? Oh.
Did you say Remedy?
Isn't it Remedy?
Really? Remedy?
It is
No.
Remedy.
It
Are you
is?
sure?
Yeah, Remedy are doing the...
Dude, I do not like Remedy.
Why not?
Rev,
what do they put out that's
honestly,
good?
Control?
I don't like Remedy either.
I couldn't get into it, man. I couldn't get into Control.
I'm shocked Rev don't like it either. That's funny. I've been saying
Quantum
that lately
Break?
too. I'm not. Yeah.
So you don't like Control either, Jay?
Nope. Boring.
Really? Wow. How about that? I like that. Yeah, dude, I'm trying. I own it. I own it on Xbox and
I own
PC.
it. Hey, look, it was bought for me. Dealer bought it for me. Say, hey, play this game. Seriously, give it a chance. I can't. I tried.
Dude, I can't either. I get 25 minutes in. The combat feels so flat. It feels terrible.
It's the Remedy.
And what is
the formula?
What's the gun in the hand I'm holding?
Yeah, it's the Remedy formula. It's that go here, read this, go there, read that, shoot a couple of things, and
I
agree.
don't like it.
So you have a way with words, but you actually hit the nail on the head. Is why I haven't played it, because I was like, what is the gun? The gun is just like a block that turns into other.
Dude, and it moves. It's like moving and stuff. And I'm just like, dude, get this shit out of here. Give me something different.
oh
Oh,
man.
no. Oh shit! Oh well, it must be why I haven't gone back to playing Control. So yeah, thanks for the super chat. $5 super chat from Smitty Smith says, "Shout out to GameOnDaily, solid Revan Fonz. Fonz, where is Dave? You missed him.
He's missing.
Yeah.
We can't find him.
Books to 1990. Thanks so much for the $5 super chat. He says, "I want to get a few things off my chest. Gas is a fraud. Don't trust him. Xbox has no
Yes,
game.
he is. I agree.
PS5 is amazing." He's from
That was a super chat.
yeah.
He donated money to talk shit.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah,
So generous.
We accept it all. Thank you so much for that.
I
He's
gotta
from
talk
Australia,
shit to
isn't
this guy. I'm gonna give him money. Well, that's is he like a friend just talking
Yeah,
shit?
yeah. He's talking shit. He's a friend.
Okay. I thought like he was like a burnt fanboy or something.
So-
Like
Oh
that.
Some
no,
people do.
we've had loads of those super
Yeah,
chatting quite
some
a
people
few.
do.
Like,
Do they donate just to talk shit?
oh
Dude.
yeah, so we read them out. It happens on RDX all the time. No funds.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, that's good
Yeah.
for you. That's good for you guys. That's awesome. But it's like
Yeah,
they're they're like destroying themselves. That doesn't even make sense, dude.
Well, they want to get their point.
I hate you. Take my money.
Yeah, I hate you. I hate you so much that I watch your show. I give you money so you
Yeah.
can read what I'm saying. That's how much I hate you. But
You got a guy in your chat that says, the older we get, the more we expect. Starting to understand my grandparents. I am a grandpa, so yeah.
oh
Yeah,
no,
there you have it. But I've always liked what I've liked, and I've never really liked Remedy, even when I was younger. I just didn't care for Alan Wake. I didn't care for those games. They weren't fun to me.
Alan Wake, dude.
that was a good game, man. Come
I'm with
on.
you. No, dude.
Not too
Come
much.
on, that was a sick game. That was a
Garbage. You killing enemies with flashlights.
Flashlights.
This is what I mean. It's like, Remedy, get your shit together. I don't want black guns. I don't want flashlights. Give me a normal gun, please. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, I will
Unreal.
say that the Crossfire X does have real guns, so hopefully they can redeem
Oh, that's a
themselves.
plus.
So you won't be running around with flashlights. And hopefully there's not a lot of reading involved,
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to tell you.
I just want to play the game.
That's awesome, Jay.
Yep.
Well, I have faith in them to maybe Crossfire X looks good. They're doing the single player campaign. It's a weird mix for them to do a first person shooter, so maybe they can do it. And there are guns in the game. So hopefully it's good. I'm not going to write them off. Alan Wake I thought was great, but I'm not going to carry on with that. Well, let me move on to our next topic. Xbox games with gold is turning into shit, and I don't know why. Well, maybe it's because Microsoft are focusing on a Game Pass. Solid, can I ask you, is that okay because Game Pass is good? Xbox is excused with games of gold?
Get rid of it. Get it out of here. Get games with gold out of here and put that money into Game Pass. Since that's what you're pushing, stop insulting us with the games with gold. You know what I mean? Don't act like you're giving us a discount with that trash you're handing out to us. That's how I feel about games with gold.
But the thing is, there are a lot of subscribers of games with gold because you need to subscribe to play online. That's the only
Right. They need to just get that out of here and include Game Pass with it. So gold will
get rid of it. Everyone wants it. Everyone wants Microsoft.
Well, I'd rather it to die off myself, and just I really would like them to open up online play for free and just have Game Pass as the service you pay for. But I don't think that's coming anytime soon. So yeah, get rid of gold. The games have been trash for months. And honestly, when it comes to even the PSN games, and they've been way better, right? The PS Plus games have been cool.
Yeah.
How many times have I personally downloaded these games? None, because the games I want to play, I buy anyway. Like, I'm not going to just download these games anyway. Like, when I look at these games on both sides, I'm like, I either already own it or I don't care. Yeah. So to me, it's not a loss. I never bought the subscription services for the free games. It's never been an interest to me at all.
Okay. Well,
So-
Microsoft never included games with gold. That was an afterthought to respond to what Sony was doing with PlayStation
Yeah,
Plus.
yeah.
Yeah, it needs to go by the wayside. So,
Hey
yeah,
man, your people think I'm too negative, man. Oh, he's too negative. This is why people lie on camera, guys. Do you understand this? You're too negative. You're too negative. This is why so many people sell this fake positivity bullshit, because you guys want all this positivity. That's not the way the world works, man. Okay, I love a lot of games. I own 1,000 games. Okay, I like some shit. I'm just a lot of the new stuff that's out. I'm just not into it.
Oh,
yeah,
And I'm not going to pretend to be into it.
hey,
exactly.
Rev, Ghost of Tsushima. That's one we can agree on. One of the best
Dude.
games last generation.
What a surprise, too, man. I was not
Amazing.
expecting to like that game.
Me neither. Me neither.
You know what I mean?
And,
Yeah.
and
First game
that
we've spoken
combat,
about that I didn't like.
Awesome.
that combat is amazing.
Who is this guy? Get him out of here. You're too
But yeah.
negative, man. Be positive for once in your life. Jeez.
It's true.
Don't like ghosts.
Ghost
Ghost
is
is amazing.
Combat system. I love the combat system.
Yeah, I
Love
can't
it.
wait for a PS5, brand new Ghost game. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eric Cuts in the chat. I think you've had her on you've been on her show.
Erica's awesome.
She is. She was on last week. Shout out to you. You
Yeah.
were brilliant last week. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is sick, man. That game, I think we'll all agree, apart from Asa, that was sick. What's happening with Outriders, man? Because Outriders, this is the big game. I downloaded it, and I couldn't even get online. I was kept getting disconnected. You posted this on Twitter, Fonz, not Fonz, sorry, Solid, and I couldn't do it. I was having the exact same issues you have. I like that game. you had it on PC. You refunded it, and then
Yeah, I played it on Game Pass, and when I played the Series X demo of Outriders, it was real stuttery.
Yeah.
The retail version plays better, but when I use a sniper rifle a lot, I like the gunplay in Outriders, man. Jay, like you, man, I played the crap out of the demo. So when I ADS, the controls feel off to me. So I wanted to use a keyboard and mouse, so I bought the PC version. Knowing the demo was trash, there were new drivers, hoping they fix it. It's a stuttering mess. I had to refund it, man. I put everything on medium. I'm dropping to like 40 FPS in the middle of combat. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Asa,
In medium settings with 2080 Super.
It feels surprisingly smooth on the Series X.
It does. It feels
opposed from
better.
the demo.
It feels better.
The demo was stuttery, and I didn't really notice it until I played this version. I was like, oh, that's what he was talking about. So much smoother now.
They definitely improved it.
Yeah.
Asa,
That
can
feels
you-
good.
Asa can do like a digital foundry tech analysis on that.
I'll probably have a look at it, yeah. Depending on time. I've not done the last ones yet. I'm a bit behind schedule. So yeah, the plan is to have a look at that one.
What about you, Fonz? Have you played
Yeah. It's fun. I've had the first day I tried to jump on, I couldn't even get on for like 2 hours. And then finally it let me in, and I played for about an hour, turned it off, went to work, played about another hour yesterday, and it's fun. I'm having fun with it. It's like, to me, it's kind of like Gears with abilities, and like, it's fun.
Yeah,
Reminds
Gears
me of
with
my-
abilities. That's a good way. I keep getting booted. I can't even get on the console version now.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't played since last night, so I don't know how it's going
Yeah,
to be today.
it's booted me all day. I've tried like 3 different times today.
Yeah.
It won't let me on.
They're having serious issues with servers, and they're getting screamed at on Twitter. Oh man, the devs are like saying, "Don't yell at us." It's like, dude, people are going to
You
get mad.
put your game out. You know what to expect.
And you put your game out in Game Pass, so you got people there, and they're waiting to play this game. And I think Game Pass really threw a wrench into it. I think a lot more people are playing this game than they expected.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to,
Probably so.
Really
Probably
do.
so.
not to be too aggressive with them either, but
Didn't it
demo
have
launch-
crazy sales on Steam? Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, that
No,
too.
that's all right.
That too.
No, I was just going to say, not to be too aggressive to the devs, but the demo launched with similar issues. It took me about 4 hours to log onto the Xbox version on the day the demo launched, so that's unfortunate that wasn't addressed, and certain other things haven't been addressed. I've not had much of a play on it to say whether it's good or not, so we'll see.
Well, here's what I think they need to do. I think they need to just cut the servers for the single player. I think there should be a single player option and just not be online at all. So I can just go through and play the game. I don't know why it has to be online all the time. If, they aren't selling this game as a service-based game. They're not selling it as, just an online multiplayer game. They're also selling it as a single player game as well. So why not have that option to be offline? That would correct that.
100%. I mean, that's what's really pissing people off is the fact that they can't even go do the single player without it being connected. It's like DRM online. So it's just like, that sucks. But it's a solid game. It reminds me of Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. If you did the co-op stuff, it was actually really underrated.
Oh yeah. The co-op is fun as hell. It's just finding people that, well, for me right now, it's finding people during my time when I can play games, because I work graveyards. And so when I need to play games, they're like done or,
We could do it because that works for us then.
Oh, yeah. We could, Gas. We can get on there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much, Mariana Pompa is a member and donated $10. Thank you so much. Says, loving the Source videos. Do you think we would see the same server issues on Outriders this is a very good question, if it wasn't on Game Pass, or is the access to Game Pass causing this?
I think it's a little bit of that, but I think, it did, like Rev said, it sold a lot on Steam as well. I think it's just a lot of people are playing the game they weren't expecting. That's all.
So the Game Pass is
Isn't this like something that happens all the time, though? Even with Destiny, every time there's a new expansion, Destiny just goes down, and that game is huge. So, it is.
I haven't played Destiny in forever, dude.
Yeah,
you still play Destiny?
I haven't played it in a year.
Yeah, I don't play it no more.
Because what happened is I got so far behind everybody else that I just don't feel like catching up.
I hear you.
That's the thing with those games. I boycotted Destiny 2 because they didn't support dedicated servers for multiplayer. I mean, get out the P2P on multiplayer. That's old school, man. I don't know why Activision are being so cheap with their servers. Mariana Pompa says, "Where's the merch? The merch is coming, man. All this Source stuff, we gotta get the gear out. Don't worry, it will be coming." So you guys have Ace, have you played Outriders? Other than for the technology?
I did some tech analysis stuff, and I played it a little bit again. So when the demo first came out, the day that it came out, I played it, and it was definitely a mess on the Xbox. Definitely a mess, whatever Xbox you played on. The PlayStation version was a lot more solid. I went back to it last week when I was doing some audio testing in particular, and both versions had patches, but despite the Xbox version being way behind the PlayStation version, it was the PlayStation version that improved more. So immediately prior to launch, the Xbox version was still worryingly janky. Now that it's come out, I'm sure there's been more patches, and I've not played it since launch to see how it's coming along. But
it's a lot better, Asa. It's a lot better if you can get in. Yeah, the servers are up.
Yeah, before I got kicked out, I was enjoying it. I was getting into it, just finishing the prologue, and then the whole thing. I was like, oh, disconnected. That sucks. So I need to play that. The last topic. Well, the last topic, you're gonna love this one, Solid Rev. It's about the rumors about Alan Wake 2 coming back.
All right, man. I'll let you guys have a good night.
He said, "I'm out."
Yeah. Well, Alan Wake 2. Well, we'll keep it brief. I think it's gonna be good, and that's it. That's all we can talk about. If no one actually likes Alan Wake,
I'll say that I hope it's great for everybody that loves those type of games, Remedy games. I hope it's wonderful for you guys.
Yeah. No, I'm hyped about it. But just to finalize this chat, we didn't talk. Well, I always ask guests who are appearing on the show at the start about their journey into content creation. I think it'd be a good way to kind of end it. Fonz, I've come across your content quite recently as I got to know Dealer a year ago. So I'm quite recent to the whole podcasting scene. And that's when I immediately saw your content and loved your stuff. But for the people who haven't seen you, how did you start your journey into content creation? What made you start?
Tell them the truth, Fonz. Tell them about how I scooped you up. So your moms nurtured you.
All right, so I'll try to make it short, but how I got into content creation at all it goes back to, I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. Back in 2015, it was the first social media mobile phone platforming thing where you can stream. It was called Meerkat. It came out before Periscope. It was a lot like Periscope, but it came out before that. It was the first. I started on there, had a little bit of a following, had somebody on there that told me, hey, you want to do a podcast with me? She did a podcast in Hollywood, or we interviewed people from actors to authors. So she wanted me to be a co-host, and I did that. Then I made my own podcast, which was the MMA podcast I did for a while, where I interviewed fighters and stuff. Had a blast with that. Then I said, let me try this whole YouTube thing with the gaming. And I started my channel, and it was just dog shit. I wasn't getting any traction at all. And because I did the one thing that you should never do on YouTube, which is mix different genres.
Oh, yeah.
I did a lot of social commentary, some political stuff, which will just kill your channel, and some gaming. And it just didn't work out right. But while I was doing all that stuff, Rev here, he caught some of my gaming videos, and he was the first one with any type of following to reach out to me and like comment on my videos. And I went to his channel. I go, whoa, it's Rev. It's actually him. He's commenting on my stuff. I was like blown away. And Rev actually started maybe a year or two after that. He had started a podcast, the Solid Cast, and I was one of the first people with him, and Gotti and some other people that did it with him. And yeah, so that Rev was the first one to actually saw me on YouTube and actually pull me in and say, hey, and I became part of the community. And it was cool.
You
it
did.
Was really neat.
You did. And you branched out. Now you're doing your thing.
And then I
man.
branched
I
out
like it.
to, and then I met Dealer, and Dealer wanted to start a podcast. And I met him through another friend. We jumped on that podcast, RDX. That's what we're doing today. And met Colt, Luca, all those people I didn't even know until I, went through all this with Rev and everything. Yeah, I'm happy to be where I'm at now. I wish I would be more consistent, because I feel like I might have had more growth had I been. And that's one thing that's been really hard for me, is with the job, the family. People don't understand. I've had, over the years, I've had 8 kids in my house, so it's been really, really a lot of work, and I'm trying to get there. So I'm growing a little bit, but yeah.
I hope you carry on with the camera thing, because that studio setup is amazing. It just looks like you're ripe.
I'll add some stuff here and there, but yeah, I'm gonna have the gameplay as well and stuff. Yeah.
What even is all that stuff I'm looking at, man? What do you got going on there, Jay?
My audio board here, which does all kinds of stuff. Like I can put different sounds and stuff.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It's Jim Ryan.
So it just does like sound effects, sound bits, stuff like that.
Yeah, it does that stuff. It also carries my audio through everything. This and this carry my audio through to my computer here, and my mic audio, whatever kind of sounds I want in here, I can throw in there. And then I've just got some lights and some pixel art stuff going on, just trying to jazz it up a bit.
I got you. Trying to blaze it up a bit.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
There you go. That's what I needed to hear.
Okay.
Somebody asked for that in the chat.
Yeah. That's good. Oh man, Rev, you might be thinking, who is this idiot he's wearing the cap backwards and it's kind of half pink, and he's just been pestering me on Twitter. But I've been a fan of yours for a decade. I've been, this is before I even paid YouTube attention. Like you were the only guy I found interesting at the time. I've been watching you for a good solid 10 years. So for me, it's also a personal honor and a pleasure to have you on, honestly. And
I appreciate that.
Colt, reach out to this guy. You're friends with him. I want him on the show, and he's a big fan of you. Colt loves you, man. He was so gutted that your camera died, and that's why he's like, oh, we have to get him back on. That's why me, Fonz, and Colt were like hoping to get, but then he had this last minute holiday. But it'd be good to know what made you. Well, like, was it a natural thing? What made you want to do it? Just is it natural? Like,
I had conflicting schedules. I had 2 kids. It was to where one of us always had to be home with the kids. So I really started getting into gaming late at night. So I worked a late shift. So on my days off, I keep my same schedule. So I'm up all night. And man, it's been like 14 years now, because my daughter's 14. So, you can only play so much video games. You know what I mean? It's 3 a.m. I'm bored, so I'm looking online, and I'm looking at Xbox stuff, PlayStation stuff, and I come across a YouTuber called El Presador. I don't know if anybody's familiar with El Presador.
Yeah.
And he's sitting in a recliner, and he's talking shit about the Xbox 360. He said it's a dilapidated piece of crap next to the place. And I'm watching him, and he reminds me a little bit of me and how I talk shit to the guys at work. And I was like, so I scroll down, I'm looking at the comments, I'm looking at the views, I'm like, I can do this. That's easy money right there. This is cool. So boom, the rest is history. So I started uploading, and my channel went in a much different direction back then. But yeah, that's how I got started.
Man, El Presador started it all off. That's insane.
El Presador, man. Yeah. I remember the first time I talked to him on the phone, man. He is a interesting individual. That's my man, though, man. He's a good guy.
I hope he's doing
crazy, but he's a good guy.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen his stuff in a while. He hasn't done anything in a while, has he?
He's got a different channel. It's called Quantrill Bishop. If you want to watch an insane man do insane things, and by all means, look for the channel and subscribe. He's a character.
I've seen him. I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was a character. He's still the same type of guy, though. I'll tell you that.
And I think El Presador shot himself in the foot. And I'm not going to go too much into this, but if he would have kept going with the console war drama crap that he did, even though we didn't care about it, he did it just as a character. It was a character he portrayed. If he'd have kept that going, his channel, I told him this many times, his channel would be so huge right now. So huge.
Me and my brothers were talking about his videos. They were so crazy. They were just about
You remember that, guys? Do you remember him and like his whole Trey Brotherhood deal and all that? And the way, like, people literally worship this guy over game consoles. If he'd have kept that up throughout PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5,
maybe a million.
but he couldn't do it. He couldn't fake it. He just couldn't sell himself out like that. And I understand that. I understand that all day. That's why I don't do it.
But you've kept it real, man, for a good 10 years, and I respect that, man. Because
I try to.
Yeah, because it's not easy. Because especially nowadays, you're kind of pressured to do like appear in a certain way. But I respect all of you guys.
That's the one thing I can say about Rev too. He's never changed. He's been the same guy since 2014. When I started watching him back then. Yeah, he does the same kind of stuff. It's just that his kids just grew like weeds.
Yeah. Like Lil Rev, just watching him it's kind of weird. It's like, oh man, I'm going old now because he's got Lil Rev and he's like got bigger muscles than me. What the hell's going on here?
I know he's a teenager, man. He's a teenager. That's crazy. I got him in a video where he's a baby.
Yeah,
he's literally a baby in a video, in a YouTube video on my channel.
That's insane.
That's how long I've been doing this.
But you haven't looked like you're aged at all, bro. You look the same, and that's gives us hope as well, man. Like you've maintained it, you kept it real. It's what we do at GameOnDaily. I got a lot of flack for Source, but I swim in it, Source, man. I'm old school. Doesn't look like I am, but I'm older than I look. And I am actually still, despite my age, giddy with the prospect of having Fonz and Solid on the show. You guys are OGs to me. You'll always be the people I will look up to, and it's just a pleasure for me. And everyone in chat is saying the same thing. Rev is a legend, Fonz is a legend, and I'm there with you. Just the difference is I'm lucky enough to talk to you guys, and very, very grateful that you both are here. I hope we can have you guys on again. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Before we leave, smash that like button if you enjoyed what you saw. These are two legends, man, who've come here. Fonz has made a debut on camera, man. I hope we can have Fonz again. You just smashed it. There's nothing to be nervous about. This was your show as much as it was ours, man. Fonz, did you enjoy it, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Enjoyed it. It was fun. I especially liked it because Rev was here, too. Because, again, Rev, you got to invite me to the Solid Cast again sometime. I had fun with that back then. It was good stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to have you on, man.
Yeah, and you have to come to RDX finally one day, man. We need you on there.
Let me know. Let me know, man. I'll come out.
Yep. We're not on camera there, so it's a lot easier.
Oh, so much better. Dude, I hate being on camera.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's so
this
good.
wasn't bad, guys. You ran the show good, man. I'm impressed because I was worried that you were going to be a little bit annoying. I got to be honest. You know what I mean? But no, man, you're good people. I appreciate you having me on.
Asa laughed a little bit too hard on that one.
Yeah, I was just like, don't blame me, because I tell everyone how annoying Gaz is. Like, I didn't tell these guys what you're like, but you are like that.
I'm grateful that you didn't find me annoying. I'm just I'm just honored anyway to have you. Hey, so you could do the outro since you just laughed your ass off at me. Not being annoying. Not being...
I don't really have one for myself. Just like thanks to both the guests. I know that you both said at the start that you were nervous about the cameras. You both said just then. I hope you had a good time. Hope everyone in the audience has had a good time. And yeah, we will see you next week. The video that I messed up at the start is hopefully going to play on the outro, but again, I've not tested it, so we'll see what happens. Here we go. Boom.
Peace.
Maybe he won't notice if you get in here. He did notice. You know something terrible is about to happen. Personally, I love that these conversations are finally happening, because for me, audio is such a critically important part of gaming.
When you see this line, know that we're about to swim in this.
Very natural relationship, which is why it will work. Forget, you don't even care about baseball. Why are you so excited about this game? You're probably not going to play it. And chances are you're right, I'm probably not going to play MLB The Show.
That's elitism, that's entitlement, and that's some bullshit. It gives the box its identity.
Yeah.
I feel like it gives the box its identity. The subject of today's video is why she's addicted to Fortnite. Now, is it safe to say that you have a Fortnite addiction?
We got to see new clothing and teeth. Damn! It's RDNA, NDA, MBA, whatever it is. What do I care what you do with it? You've got no life. Who needs friends? Go outside. F*** the sun. A girlfriend. Have you seen yourself?